to everybody.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaymudiret. Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 17, Verse 8. Shri Aditiruvacha Yagnesha Yagna. Oh, this is done. So we finished this verse. Verse 9. Vishwaya Vishwabhavanasthiti Samyamaya Swairam Grihita Purushakti Gunaya Bhumne Swasthaya Shashwadupabramhita Bhurnabodha Vyapaditatmatamase Haraye Namaste. Vishwaya. Unto the Supreme Lord, who is the entire universe. Vishwa Bhavana. Creation of the universe. Sthiti, maintenance. Samyamaya, annihilation. Swairam, he is fully independent. Shakti Gunaya, controller of the three modes. Bhumne, the supreme great. Swasthaya, he is situated in his original form. Shashwat, eternally. Purna Bodha, complete knowledge. Atma Tamasya, Vyapadita, completely vanquish the illusory energy of your lordship. My Lord, you are the all-pervading universal form, the fully independent creator, maintainer, and destroyer of this universe. Although you engage your energy in matter, you are always situated in your original form and never fall from that position. For your knowledge is infallible and always suitable to any situation. You are never bewildered by illusion. O my Lord, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Prabhupada is quoting a very important verse here from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Siddhanta baliye chittane na kar alasa iha hoite krishne lage sudhruda manasa. Siddhanta Baliya, one who knows or one is trying to understand Siddhanta. Chitte na kara alasa. He should not be lazy. One who wants to understand Siddhanta should not be lazy. Iha hoite Krishna lage sudhruda manas. What will happen if we try to understand philosophy? Krishna lage sudhruda manas. The mind will get fixed, sudhruda, firmly fixed in Krishna. If one tries to understand philosophy, then that's the way by which Krishna mind gets firmly fixed in Krishna. That is the reason why we talk about Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Trying to understand Bhagavatam and all the secrets of Bhagavatam requires application of mind and intelligence. Because many things in Bhagavatam are not easy to understand. Statements that Prabhupada has written are not easy to understand. And they require us to be doing devotion at a certain level of maturity, at a certain level of realization. So this is a very important verse. Generally, devotees want to hear only katha. stories, Lila. But here, this verse is saying one should not be lazy in trying to understand philosophy. By trying to understand philosophy, one's mind becomes fixed in Krishna. Not actually by hearing pastimes. Hearing pastimes, uh, it might be okay, but if we don't know philosophy clearly, then possibly we will not understand the pastime also clearly. Mm. So, tattva has to be understood. So, we have to understand Atma tattva first, that I am not this body, I am spirit, soul. Then we should also understand Bhagavat tattva, which is the tattva about Bhagavan, as he speaks about in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And then we should also understand Rasa tattva. We should understand the tattva about the different types of relationship with Krishna. And then we have to understand Bhakti tattva. Bhakti tattva is not a very widely explained in Bhagavatam. Bhakti tattva is explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and other scriptures. So, like this, one after the other, we have to engage our mind and intelligence in understanding various tattva. Automatically, mind becomes sudruda. Druda means fixed. Sudruda means firmly fixed. Mind becomes automatically firmly fixed in Krishna. Hmm. So Prabhupada is writing here, anyone trying to become fully Krishna conscious must know the Lord's glories as far as they are possible to understand, because it's not possible to understand Krishna. Hmm. Now one question comes. So Krishna left Vrindavan to go to Mathura and then Dwaraka. Now he knew that the Vrajavasis can't live without him, but still he went. Hmm. Why? Why does Krishna do such things? Krishna had to go to Mathura, and he knew that by him going there, his devotees in Vraja would be devastated. So then why did he go? So questions like this about Krishna are so difficult to understand. Unless our acharyas reveal the answers, we can just keep speculating for lifetimes, but we will not get to the bottom of the answer. So things like this, it's not possible to completely understand Krishna. Krishna himself cannot understand himself. Wow, what does that mean? Why is that Krishna can't understand himself? Because in Krishna's pastimes, Krishna is not in control. Krishna's Leela Shakti is in control. So Krishna has to do as required by the Leela Shakti. Now, of course, Krishna has given an overall direction for Leela Shakti in terms of how pastimes have to happen, but the details completely Leela Shakti decides when what happens. So sometimes Krishna is also in anxiety. He doesn't know what is going to happen next because he doesn't know what his Leela Shakti has in store. So he himself cannot understand himself. What will other people understand him? So which is why Prabhupada says that we can understand to the extent of our purity. We can understand Krishna. Why? Because not because simply because we are pure that we will understand. Because Krishna will reveal to the extent of our humility and purity. Krishna will reveal. In Chaitanya Lila, once one Brahmana comes to Srivas Thakur's house and he wants to witness Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sankirtan. Now, obviously, the Sankirtan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Sankirtan that was happening in Srivas Thakur's house was only limited to devotees. Was only limited to devotees. Non-devotees were not supposed to enter. But this Brahmana comes to Chibas Pandit and he asks, saying that I am a very severe, I do severe austerities. I only live on milk. I don't drink, I don't have consume anything else apart from milk. And then Shiva Thakur thinks, okay, maybe, such severe austerity, so maybe, he should be given an opportunity. And then, being very compassionate devotee, he allows that Brahmana to come inside. Shiva's inside his house, and he hides him somewhere, saying that you hide here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will not see you. Now, obviously, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, nothing can be hidden from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then starts his kirtan and then he's not experiencing bliss, ecstasy. Then he tells, saying that something is wrong. Some foreign element has is come here. Somebody who is not supposed to be here is here, so I'm not experiencing happiness. And then obviously Shiva Thakur knew that we can't hide things from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he tells Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yes, this Brahmana is here. He calls the Brahmana and then tells, saying that Mahaprabhu, this Brahmana is very, very great Brahmana. He lives only on milk. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just simply makes one statement. Just because you drink milk doesn't make you qualified to come in the presence of devotees. Meaning, somebody who is in Sattva Guna doesn't have he doesn't have the qualification to understand Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not happy that non-devotee Sattvic Brahmana was there in his Leela, in his pastime. He was not happy about that. So we can understand, not simply by austerities, by Sattva Guna, we cannot understand Krishna. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only a devotee can understand Krishna. And what kind of devotee can understand Krishna? One who is fully surrendered, pure devotee, who has no other intention except pleasing Krishna by service. Only such a devotee can understand Krishna. Why? Because Krishna reveals. Krishna reveals himself. He reveals his nature, his qualities, everything he reveals. Brahma also says in the 10th canto, saying that let anybody think that they can understand Krishna. As far as I know, I can understand that I cannot even begin to understand Krishna. Krishna is unlimited. Krishna's qualities are such that Krishna's beauty and sweetness have no limits. Krishna himself gets bewildered by his own beauty. Once in Dwarka, he is passing by some marble wall or some wall made of gems, and then suddenly he sees a reflection and he says, Hare. He's just passing by. He sees, like, if there's a mirror, we stop by. He sees, who's this? Such unprecedented sweetness. And then he says, oh, it's my form. Now, Krishna himself is bewildered by his own sweetness and beauty. But that sweetness and beauty also expands without limits when he sees the beauty and sweetness of Radharani and the gopis. So, we just can't understand. He's the same Krishna who is in Dwaraka. But when that Krishna comes to Vrindavan, Vraja, he is a different person. So once Krishna, after killing Dantavakra and Vidurata, so Krishna comes to Vrindavan. So he had come from Dwaraka. So in his, he had come for a fight. So he was in his royal attire and, all these kinds of things. And then he decides to go to Vrindavan and meet the Vrajavasis. And he goes, and before entering Vrindavan, he wants to, wear his Gopala clothes. He doesn't want to wear the clothes of a prince. And then Uddhava would have arranged for that. Uh, Uddhava has kept his, clothes of a cowherd boy ready. And actually, Krishna is very happy. See, Uddhava always thinks about me. And he thinks about all the details about me. So then Krishna wears those clothes. And then he removes his helmet, his ornaments, and this and that and all that. And he wears his clothes as a Gopala. And Daruka, who is his chariot driver. He's seen Krishna everywhere in all situations, all this one. But then Dwarka sees that, when suddenly Krishna gives up his opulent clothes and wears clothes of Brajavasis, suddenly Dwarka experiences a special sweetness about Krishna which he had not experienced so far. Just imagine Krishna just being a Gopala in Vrindavan itself is sweetness. On top of that, there is Krishna's personality, sweetness of his personality. So, who can understand all this? Hmm. And then Krishna gives away all, he had just killed Dantavakra and Vidurata, and he has like booty from the fight. So, he then distributes it to all Brajavasis. Brajavasis actually by then they had sold all their wealth, sold it off. Why? Because they wanted to do some homa, yagna, etc. to bring back Krishna. So they had nothing with them. They had become paupers. But they were not engaged in material advancement. They were just engaged in figuring out how do we get Krishna back to Vrindavan. And then he didn't have anything. So as return gifts, they gave some very ordinary, turban, cloth, and this and that and all that. Then Krishna so happily took all that, removed whatever he was wearing, and he made a turban out of that cloth they had given, sash they had given. He tied it against his around his waist, kept his flute there. So it's so difficult to understand Krishna. And today I'm going to go on only about this, how difficult it is to understand Krishna. Hmm? Krishna left Vrindavan to go to Mathura. Any answers? Why did Krishna leave Vrindavan to go to Mathura? Don't give me standard answers because you know that that's not the answer. Okay. Now, obviously, standard answers are not answers for those in the Gaudiya line because it's Rahasyam. Knowing, understanding Krishna is topmost secret. Krishna left Vrindavan to go to Mathura because now Krishna is going to kill Kamsa and he is going to have a lot of enemies. So Krishna did not want to remain in Vrindavan because then his enemies would come and attack Vrindavan and that is going to trouble Brajavasis. So he left Vrindavan and went. Was he happy going out of Vrindavan? No, he was not happy. He was as distressed, or actually more distressed than Brajavasis. Why was he more distressed? Because at least for Brajavasis, there was Vrindavan. There were other devotees. There were other devotees who could talk about Krishna. But whom did Krishna have in Dwarka or Mathura? Except Balaram, really nobody. So which means that Krishna experienced more distress than Brajavasis. But he didn't want to come back because he thought that, okay, enemy spies will be there. They will find out that my dear ones are in Vrindavan. So what Krishna does is not understandable. What Krishna does is not understandable. What Brajavasis do is not understandable. Uh, so which is why this Braja, entering Braja, is the most exalted position. We can even enter Vaikuntha. We can understand Vaikuntha. We can understand opulence of Krishna. But we cannot understand sweetness of Krishna. Krishna can suffer for his devotees. Krishna doesn't want his devotees to suffer. His devotees don't want Krishna to suffer. Brajavasis don't want to go out of Vrindavan. Brajavasis think that if Krishna is, Brajavasis are all, they are all so much in distress. And they're thinking, if Krishna is happy being in Mathura or Dwaraka, that's good enough. If we are going to suffer because of that, let it be so. And in that distress, they experience happiness. What kind of happiness? Happiness that possibly Krishna is happy being where he is. You know, it's inconceivable. It's really, I mean, the devotion of Rajavasis is inconceivable. When Krishna left Vrindavan, they just became like, they stopped cooking. Can you imagine? They stopped cooking, they stopped taking care of their house, they stopped doing their duties. Every moment, only one meditation. When will Krishna come? Will Krishna come? If so, when will he come? Mm. And Krishna is in Dwaraka in the midst of the greatest of opulences. And he's depressed, he's distressed, he's crying, he's lamenting. But he can't go. Because he thinks, no, no, if I go, then my enemies will attack Vrindavan. So, like this, Krishna is impossible to understand. Unless we give up our material uh, attachments to this material world, we cannot understand Krishna, because we cannot think about Krishna or Brajavasis like we think about material things. Like yesterday I was saying that don't look at your family as family. Look at them as devotees. Because, see, in Vrindavan, this is the mood. Nobody looks at themselves. Why do the gopis and gopas love their children so much? They love their children so much because Krishna loves their children. There's no other reason for them to love their children, not because they are their children. They're not loving them for that. They're loving them because their children are engaged in Krishna's service. And Krishna loves them. So the Braja environment is inconceivable. Mm. And Krishna on top of it makes it further inconceivable. Anyway, so here Aditi hints at these glories. Mm. Mm. We can understand Krishna's glories as far as they are revealed to us. Mm. And he reveals himself through his causeless mercy. Yeah, Gemini is also speaking. He reveals himself through his causeless mercy, which is correct. And Krishna reveals to those who have hankering to understand Krishna. We should have this hankering. That is why this Siddhanta Baliya Chitte. Now, if we simply hear a pastime about Krishna, we won't be able to understand the tattva behind that. Unless we have the desire, hankering to understand this tattva, we will not get access to this tattva. The universe is nothing but the external potency of the Lord. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Maya tatam idam sarvam. Whatever we see in this universe is but an expansion of the potency of the Supreme Person of Godhead. Just as the sunshine and heat all over the universe are expansions of the sun. When one surrenders unto the Supreme Person of Godhead, he surpasses the influence of the illusory energy. For the Supreme Lord, being fully wise and being situated in the heart of everyone, especially in the heart of the devotee, gives one intelligence by which one is sure never to fall into illusion. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. But the dadami buddhi yogam will happen when ananyas chintayantoma. When somebody is thinking about Krishna uh, without distraction, ananya bhava. Mind is not going here and there, just fixed on Krishna. Then Krishna will reveal. Krishna will reveal. Now, if our mind is on material things, money, prestige, wealth, name, fame, this, that, promotion, how will the mind be on Krishna? Mind will simply remain on material things. And as long as mind remains on material things, there is no place for Krishna. Which is why we have to do our duties but not be attached. If we become attached, there's only one place for one person within the heart. If that is taken by material things, there's no place for Krishna there. Mm. So that is why it's an art. Working in this material world is an art. Mam anusmara yudhyacha. We have to always be thinking about Krishna and then leave our struggle for existence. And like I said, every situation is just an opportunity for us to become more and more absorbed in Krishna. That's all. For devotees, practicing devotees, there is no happiness, there is no distress of this material world. It's all an opportunity to simply remember Krishna and absorb oneself in Krishna. That's all. And the more we take this opportunity, the more we will progress. The more we want material happiness, the less we will be able to enter into the secrets of Krishna. Mm. Verse 10. Ayu param vapur abhishtam atulya lakshmir dyo bhurasa sakala yoga gunastri vargaha gnanam cha kevalam ananta bhavanti tushtat tvatto nrunam kim usapatna jayadirashihi. Unlimited one. If your lordship is satisfied, if your lordship is satisfied, one can very easily obtain a lifetime as long as that of Lord Brahma. A body in either in the upper, lower, or middle planetary systems, unlimited material opulence, religion, economic development, satisfaction of senses, full transcendental knowledge, 8 yogic perfections. What to speak of such petty achievements as conquering one's rivals? So Aditi is wanting to conquer her rivals, and she's saying, whatever I'm asking for is very petty, very insignificant, because one, if you are satisfied by somebody, you can give them anything. You can give them anything. Mm. You can give them lifetime as long as that of Brahma. You can give them unlimited opulence, satisfaction of senses, full transcendental knowledge, Asta Siddhi. You can give them anything. And what about just winning over some enemies of this material world? It's insignificant. What about the happiness in this material world? Insignificant. What about the distress in this material world? Insignificant. It's insignificant compared to the distress in the spiritual world. There is distress in the spiritual world? Of course. Like I said, there is distress in the spiritual world, but which is actually experienced as happiness. So everything about this material world is tuchcha, useless, worthless, insignificant. So no point in asking any material benefit from Krishna. It's better we can ask Krishna, give me your eternal association. Give me an opportunity to serve you in Goloka. We can make such prayers. We can pray like that. Shri Shukavacha Adityaivam stuto rajan bhagavan pushkarekshanaha kshetragna sarvabhutanam iti hovacha bharata. Shukadev Goswami said, O King Parikshit, best of the Bharata dynasty, When the lotus-eyed Lord, the super soul of all living entities, was thus worshipped by Aditi, he replied as follows. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Deva Matar Bhavatya me Vignatam Chirakangshitam Yat Sapatner Srinam Chavitanam Swadhamataha. The Supreme Person of Godhead said, O Mother of the demigods, I have already understood your long cherished desires for the welfare of your sons, who have been deprived of all opulences and driven from their residence by their enemies. Supreme Lord, being situated in everyone's heart and especially in the hearts of his devotees, is always ready to help devotees in adversity. Again, these things we keep repeating, because the philosophy should become very firmly fixed in our thought process. Krishna helps those devotees who don't ask for help. Krishna automatically helps those devotees who don't ask for help. Of course, he will also help those devotees who ask for help so that they come to this stage where they will not ask for help. And he derives more happiness in taking care of his devotees who don't ask for help than those devotees who ask for help. And of course, they are much better, as in incomparable to those who don't come to Krishna at all. But we don't have to tell Krishna. Then I was thinking, saying that, many times I also do some contemplation and I tell Krishna, Krishna, this is what it is. And then I was thinking, why do I say that? Because our mind is so disturbed that we are in, once we are thinking like this, another time we are thinking like that. Some other time we are thinking like something else. So then we have to, also Krishna is thinking, what is this? Is it this or that or something else? No, 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 Krishna, it is this. So just to make it clear, Krishna, no, 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 I'm just like all over the place. No, no, but this is what actually, this is where I want to fix my mind. So for that reason, we might tell Krishna, Krishna, this is the thing. Not because he doesn't know, but he knows that I also have option 1, option 2, option 3, option 5, option 10. So Krishna is also waiting. Okay, which one? Which one of these? No, 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 Krishna, no, no. All the others were just distraction. This is what it is. So to just make it clear for ourselves, we might re-emphasize our stance on a particular subject. But we don't have to really ask. Yesterday, somebody sent me a message saying, there's a message from His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj saying that if you chant more, my health will improve. This is what somebody sent. I don't know if it is authentic or not, but somebody sent me and asked. So they sent and asked saying that, should I pray for him? I said, no, there's no instruction to pray. There's instruction to chant. Now we should understand why are we should not see, which is why understanding Shastra is difficult. Maharaj is not asking for anything else. What he wants and his conversation with Krishna is between the two of them. We don't know. No, we should not feel that we are qualified to go in the middle and pray for him while he is directly talking to Krishna. Now, this is absurdity. What position do we have? When an exalted devotee is having it's his dealings with Krishna, what do we know? So what is the point that he's saying chant more? That's all. That's the end of instruction. Now what he wants after that is up to him and between him and Krishna. Who are we to ask for anything? So we should not ask. We should just simply follow instructions. Okay, chant Hare Krishna. Okay, I'm going to chant more rounds. I'm going to do more kirtan. That's all. Over. Because pure devotees themselves don't ask, and we don't know what they will ask. We don't know how they will ask. We don't know why they will ask. We can't interpret them. So let's not get into that business. Let's leave it to them. Let's leave it to those devotees and Krishna. And we can simply follow their instructions. That's all. Simple. Since he knows everything, he knows how things are to be adjusted, and he does the needful to relieve the suffering of his devotees. See, we can't have more clear sentences than this. Prabhupada is saying he knows everything. He knows how things have to be adjusted. Yeah. We'll be thinking, oh, such a complex situation. Oh, what if this happens and then that happens and something else happens? And in our tiny brain, we are thinking about all these possibilities. Krishna also knows all the possibilities. Krishna possibly knows 1,000 times more possibilities than we do, right? And he has the power to adjust things, adjust things. So he will do the needful to relieve the suffering of the devotee. Hmm. Again, some of these are direct statements for me uh, because of anxiety that I have towards the temple in Hurima. Krishna is telling, don't worry, I know what I need to do. You've done your part, leave it to me. I will take care. Hmm. So it's just reinforcing the faith that we have in Krishna. Okay, Krishna, uh, I have faith that you will take care. That's all. Hmm. So, and I was talking to Anukul Prabhu. Anukul Prabhu said the same thing. Oh, Krishna hai, aap kyun chinta kar rahe? So these are, that's why I said, I can sit and give class, but there are devotees who practice it in their life. And we should learn from interaction from such devotees. Then I realize, okay. Mm, So Prabhu is saying, then why I have to worry? So Krishna knows. Krishna will take care. So which is why these things are things for us to apply in practice. These are not theory. And when we apply this in practice, our faith in Krishna just increases. Krishna says, Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Krishna says, he will relieve the suffering of the devotee. Uh, Krishna says, I will fulfill the desires of my devotees. There's desire for service. So we should understand all this, we should put all this together and understand Krishna knows. He will do whatever he needs to do. 13. Tan vinirjitya samare durmadam asurarshabhan pratilabdha jayashribihi putrerichasya upasitum. O Devi, O goddess, I can understand that you want to regain your sons and be together with them to worship me. Yesterday, Paripurna Mataji was asking me, why is Aditi praying for her sons? This is the reason. The reason is here. That is why I said we have to read these verses, otherwise we can speculate and we'll not get the answer. Lord himself is saying, I know you want to regain your sons. Why? So that you can be together with them and worship me. So the ultimate intention is to worship the Lord. Of course, and to be able to do that, then there has to be defeating of enemies, retrieving the abode, opulence, etc. All this is side business. This is not the main business. The main business is to be able to worship the Supreme Lord with her family. That was Aditi's desire. And for that desire to be fulfilled, so many other dependent things had to be fulfilled. So we can understand that Aditi had pure desire to serve the Supreme Lord. There was no selfishness in that. Like we were saying, as a family should be together and worship Krishna, and that's what she is wanting to do. Indrajeshthai yudhi vidvisham striyo rudanti rasa asadya drashtumichasi dukkhitaha. You want to see the wives of the demons lamenting for the death of their husbands. When those demons, the enemies of your sons, are killed in the battle by the demigods, of whom Indra is the chief. Now you might be wondering, why does she want those enemies to die? Because otherwise they're going to create more and more unfavorable situation for the service of the Lord. So again, there is nothing wrong in desiring that way. Of course, a pure devotee doesn't even bother. I mean, see, there are different grades of devotees. Perfectly pure devotee doesn't even bother to say anything. He says, you put me in hell also, I will worship you. Right? But of course, it's not a mixed devotion, but it's not the highest level of surrender also. But it's okay. It's still very exalted for people like us. What Aditi is doing is exalted for people like us. But then there are devotees like, Prahlad, and, then when we go into Praja, it's all different grade of devotion, different standard of devotion. You want your sons to regain their lost reputation, opulence, and live again on their heavenly planet as usual. O mother of the demigods, in my opinion, almost all the chiefs of the demons are now unconquerable. So the Lord is now telling the solution. He's saying, okay, I understand you want all this, but now Please understand that the chiefs of the demons are now unconquerable, for they are being protected by the Brahmanas, whom the Supreme Lord always favors. So Supreme Lord is saying that they are being favored by Brahmanas who are also favored by me. Thus the use of power against them now will not at all be a source of happiness. So he's giving a solution. He's giving a solution, saying that that it's not by use of power, because now they are being favored by Brahmanas. So when a person is favored by Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, no one can defeat him. Prabhupada is writing. If we are favored by Srila Prabhupada, then no one can defeat us. When the Supreme Person of Godhead does not interfere when one is protected by a Brahmana. It is said, Gop Brahmana Hitaicha. The Lord's first inclination is to give all benedictions to the cows and Brahmanas. Therefore, if Brahmanas favor someone, the Lord does not interfere, nor can anyone interfere with the happiness of such a person. Now, this is true of just a pakka, ordinary Brahmana, not a Vaishnava. Even if it is a Brahmana who is living perfectly on the platform of Brahminical culture, even his words are going to be upheld by the Lord. And what about Vaishnavas? Usually Brahma also says, saying that, Lord empowers my words. Whatever I say, it happens. Brahma says. So if a Vaishnava desires, that is why when a Vaishnava desires some other jiva's welfare, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Krishna has actually empowered the devotee with power to deliver other people, which is not generally given. It is not generally given, but it is given to devotees who are preaching, or any devotees for that matter, who desire spiritual welfare of some jiva. Krishna empowers those devotees to be able to deliver them, which is the reason why devotees should not be sitting at home. We keep telling devotees, go do book distribution, go book distribution. And our few of our devotees go once in a week on Saturday. And I see only 3-4 devotees go. I don't know, others still don't want mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looks like. The only way we can make tremendous progress in devotion is when we get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is got only when we go to distribute mercy. There's no other way. There's no other way to get mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We should do that. And when we go out and we want somebody, we will look at somebody and say, oh, it will be nice if this person comes to devotion. Krishna is hearing. Krishna is hearing. And when we are favored by Guru and Krishna and Prabhupada and our acharyas, no one can interfere with the happiness of such a devotee. Because it's not material happiness such a devotee seeks. He seeks spiritual happiness. And as a side effect, there's also material, not happiness, but no material disturbance, so-called. Like no material disturbance to disturb him, distract him from his job, from his seva that he's doing. So Krishna takes care of everything. Okay, I think we are time up. So I'll stop here. And then any questions, comments, feel free. Any questions, comments? Okay, then we'll close. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय।